Okay, so today we're going to work on the greenery. And what we want to see here when we're doing the greenery is actually the movement of the leaves, hanging leaves. So there's a nice movement here. So if you are not kind of 100% sure how to do it freehand, just use a pencil, and a white pencil crayon will be fine. And or you could take, this is by the way, sap green, yellow ochre, cadmium orange, and cadmium yellow medium. And I'm going to be using round brush. So if you're not sure, you could take a bit of green with yellow ochre, and then just with your brush, kind of draw a very thin line that gives you the movement of the leaves. Honestly, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, just a guideline, kind of how it's going to look. We'll do the rest after. That's it. That's all I want to see. Just a faint line of the movement of the leaves. Or with a white pencil crayon. It's fine too. Okay. Okay. Now the other thing I was going to mention is the shape of the leaves. So we have two kinds of shapes of leaves. We have a shape that is we can do two shapes. We have one kind of leaves there. So I'm going to take orange for you so you can see it. You can do this. Take your round brush and then do this. And then again. Something like that. So sometimes it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, sometimes just 4 or 3. But the easiest way is to do this, like a leaf, and then just keep on adding to it. Or we can just go like this and change the shape of the leaves completely. This way it will take a bit longer, but it's nice. I mean, it's cute, different. But we can take our time working with this shape. I'm going to zoom in so you can see how I'm doing this. And it's up to you to decide what you want to go with. If you decide to go with not the same shape that it's there right now, and you would like something simpler, I would use a flat brush or bright, and just go like this. So it's up to you how you want to handle the leaves. Okay, I'm gonna come here, and I'm going to adjust the camera a bit. Okay. Let's start from the top. I'm going to use my round brush, sap green only for now. So I'm going to start with a couple of sap green, and then I'm going to add color to the sap green slowly. And I'm going to start from this corner up here. Actually, I can put a bit of because it's really dark, a bit of yellow ochre. Just make sure you're not doing them all in the same direction. This will dry darker, and once it dries darker, I can highlight some of them because you want to make them look like they're overlapping. This will take a little bit of time, but it will look good. See now, kind of some of them are pointing this way. I'm going to change direction and size also. So not only direction, we're going to make sure that the size is different too. Some are small, some are big. They have a heart shape too, some of them, meaning that the side so they have this curve in and out. Keep an eye on your reference. Although this reference is an AI, so it's not really done by the usual way, the classic kind of an artist. It's more like a computer generated. So it's not accurate every time. I will start highlighting soon. So for now, I'm just putting a couple in dark. And this is sap green with a bit of yellow ochre. So what you're seeing on the screen, you're seeing darks, a lot of dark in there. It's not that dark here, but it doesn't matter. This is not the finish product. I'm keeping the ones up tiny bit darker than the rest because I want to start showing a hint of leaves in here before I move on to the highlighted one. All right. I'm going to bring in a tiny bit of more of the yellow ochre. So I'm changing the color to green with more yellow ochre in it. And some of them will look just kind of a dab of something. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. You know, like it doesn't have to look, they don't all have to look perfect.
It's good.
Some of them will be, some of them will be kind of a dot or
Try seeing them on that dark surface. Oh, that's better. I turned another light on. There you go. That helps.
they're not easy to paint. This shape is not easy to paint, and it takes time. But I mean, it looks good after. Should look good. Okay, some greens in here, but then we're going to change into oranges. A little bit more green in here. And just start with this part. Again, hint. Okay, that's good. If we need more of the green, we'll add it on later. So I'm going to stop for a minute and then I will continue with the other color. Okay, so now I'm going to start with orange. So I'm going to take orange and yellow ochre, mix them, because I want an orange that's kind of a bit subdued. Okay. That's orange, cadmium orange, and yellow ochre. And I'm going to come here to this corner. I'm going to put a couple that are...
These are in between the green ones you already did.
Kind of,
right?
yeah, over,
Yeah.
in between.
Over, half
Yeah.
over, yeah.
Yeah.
Not highlighted.
Yeah. They will dry, it's supposed to dry darker. I'm going to add a tiny bit of sap green to this combination. So just to change a bit the orange color. I'm going to start adding more orange and less sap green. And less, of course, less yellow ochre. So I have a couple of orange ones now. It's enough. I'm going to switch to cadmium yellow medium with orange, not by itself. And add a couple. You know, it's so nice to come in the morning and, you know, and think that we have this option of painting. So nice to think that there's a nice distraction for us.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just going over a couple of these leaves that I have here, adding green and yellow. I just brought some sap green into this yellow orange that I have here. And just I'm gonna add a couple here. Okay, so the same. I'm going to start going down a little bit here with little small ones. We'll start with green and yellow orange. And then I'll switch to more of the orange. Small ones in orange. Put them in, kind of try to spread them in different directions. Little tiny ones. Same thing. I'm going to take orange, green, and just kind of put a couple down on the floor. Okay. Let's go back. More of the yellow. A little bit of more yellow in there with orange, but more yellow than orange. And let's go back here and just highlight a couple. Let's take a bit of yellow and green, or green. Put some yellow in it. Just gonna highlight a couple here in the greens. Put a couple of brush strokes in the light green. Okay. Let's move on to this part. These are really tiny ones. They look like they're floating. Take some green, yellow, cadmium yellow medium. And with the same combination of cadmium yellow medium and green, I'm gonna take my brush, put water and in the paint so I can have a thin line, and then just try to add some movement in the green. With a very soft and light brush stroke, I'm adding kind of movement. Okay, I think we know it's enough. We're good. I'm just going to highlight a couple just to bring them forward, and because the first layer is usually dries darker. orange, especially these ones that are kind of floating. Okay. Yellow in my orange. Okay. All right, that's good. That's enough. Oops. Okay, so for the clock, I have raw umber here, and I added a bit of sap green to the raw umber and titanium buff. If you don't have titanium buff, titanium white is fine. So this is going to be the inside of the clock. It has more of the kind of a greenish colored inside. And I'm not taking the green all the way to the edge, because what I want to do at this point is take raw umber and then soften this edge with raw umber to create the kind of deep shadow all around. Okay, that's raw umber again. And I'll go over. Just raw umber now at this point. And you'll see in a minute when I start highlighting, you will see it more.
I'm sorry, Leah, what color did you mix with the raw umber? Was it the green?
Sap green, yeah, sap green and a bit of titanium buff for the center. I'm waiting for it to dry so I can adjust the value in the center. So meanwhile, I'm putting raw umber around. All right, so now I'm going to take again green, raw umber, titanium buff, a little bit more of the titanium buff, just a tiny bit more. And start from the center and highlight, not all the way to the edge, just inside. That will give me a soft highlight in the center. I'm going to take, at this point, more of the titanium buff into this mixture of raw umber and a bit of green. And I'm going to, with a round brush, highlight top. This needs a bit of water. Again, one more line. I'm not highlighting all the way down. And it's okay if you are not getting the line 100% accurate. Because I can go back in a minute and adjust all of this. Same color, just kind of raw umber and titanium buff and sap green. And this soft color of titanium buff, sap green, and raw umber is going to be all around the clock because it's soft. Only this one on top is highlighted more because of the light coming from the window. I'm going to adjust a bit with raw umber. I'm going to adjust my lines a bit, my highlighted lines, and bring this raw umber into the clock a bit to give it that shadow feel in there. Now, I've done this. While it's drying, I'm going to take a tiny bit of black and raw umber, mix them. And I'm going to put a shadow of the clock on the wall. One side, light is coming from right to left, so I'm going to get a beautiful shadow here, and that will push the clock out. It will make it look like it's 3D. At this point, same combination of black and raw umber. I'm just going to put a bit of dark shadow over here. So because the light is coming from right to left, the inside of the clock will have shadow in here, so inside, and the outside, the outside frame of the clock will have a highlight. So automatically, because the light is coming from here, from the right, you can see that this frame is casting a shadow inside the clock, and this frame right here is casting a shadow over the wall. So now I'm going to take exactly the same combination of color paint, and it's black and raw umber, and I'm just going to put a hint of numbers. And I'm going to put inside. Just gonna put inside a there we go. Highlight a little bit at this point, this part, outside part, just a bit. Good enough. That's it. All right. What I would do after is kind of glaze the wall behind right here a bit with raw umber, and just to adjust the circle if I want. And I would adjust it with a light color. Oh, not too light. Any color. I mean, it doesn't matter, just kind of like that. That's raw umber. Maybe because it's drying now and it's drying darker every time I put color in here. I'm going to take titanium buff, sap green, and raw umber again, but with a bit more of the titanium buff in that combination of color, and just push with the dry brush inside the clock this beautiful color. Just to highlight inside the clock. And we want to keep all around it, all around the clock, we want to keep it dark. Okay. Wait for it to dry and then I'll adjust if there's anything to be adjusted. But for now, it looks good. It's really not about accuracy in here. It's about a feel of an old clock. It's not about accurate color or I'm sorry, accurate numbers. You know, doesn't matter if everybody knows that this is a clock, and so they know the numbers. But what I want is the feel. It's a feel of an old clock, weathered, that's sitting on the wall, and it goes with the rest of the. It doesn't take over from the wall. It's there. So it's not. I don't want to see the numbers. It doesn't matter to me if I see the numbers, but I want to see that it's an old clock, and that's it. Done. All right, next project. All right, I'm going to stop recording. Okay, this project is done. On to the next one.